What's going on YouTube? My name is ginj-tcg or Chris, and today I'm back with a crazy rogue deck video. Today we're going to be talking about Meowscarada EX. With the Bouquet Magic ability, you can discard a Grass Energy from your hand to put 3 damage counters on one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So when you combo that with Munkidori, you can move an insane amount of damage, and since we're in a very spread-heavy Munkidori dominated format right now, I figured, you know what, this doesn't seem like a bad combo, because with Scratching Nails, if there's any damage counters on our opponent's active Pokemon, we do 220 damage, which means that for a minimum we're swinging 230, which is already KO on Iron Hands. It means if we're up against Pikachu EX and Joltik Box, that we're going to be KOing it with the damage spread from the Munkidori as well as the Meowscarada Bouquet Magic ability. And then if we're up against decks like Grimmsnarl, we've got the insane Grass Attacker as well as the single prize Spidops with Rocket Rush as just a good beatstick single prize attacker, which can charge up energy, swing very consistently, and help just give Meowscarada a good backup option if we don't want it as the main attacker, since we're relying on weakness maybe a little bit more. Also against Gardevoir, we've got good spread to take out Munkidori's, or excuse me, not Munkidori, Screamtails and Driflooms after they've got a lot of damage put on them from the Gardevoir. We've got a great single prize attacker right here with Spidops, which we're not swinging for necessarily the world's most insane numbers, especially because we're only playing the Team Rocket Spidops as our only Team Rocket's Pokemon. So for a maximum damage, what are we doing? 120 damage, which isn't anything nuts, but it's a great single prize option against Gardevoir to allow us to trade one prize for one prize every single turn. We can still get a Meowscarada in play to try to take a second KO on a damaged Drifloon, Screamtails, kind of bait one out to then take a multiple prize turn as well with Munkidori or our own Meowscarada. I mean, I feel like there's a lot going for this deck. This deck definitely has a lot of options. I think the nicest thing about the Spidops option is that we could pair it with Energy Switch. And honestly, this whole combo, I don't know why I'm taking this long to say it, actually came from my boy Avery. If you guys haven't seen the Battle VIPs podcast, let's get that out of the way now. Go check it out. It's on the TCG YouTube channel. We did just change the name to the Drawpass Team, just so more people are aware that this is the whole team's channel, but the podcast is hosted on that channel. Avery, my co-host on the podcast, did come up with this insane list that uses Spidops to charge up energy with the charging up ability, and then Energy Switch to throw it onto Meowscarada so we can attack consistently and recycle our energy very well, since we're only playing 6 Grass Energy. So between Meowscarada, Spidops, and Energy Switch, we've got insane attacking capabilities since we can move energy around very nicely. We've also got 2 copies of Counter Gain in the deck, so that if we're behind on prize cards, we can attack for 1 energy with Spidops or Meowscarada. And what's nice about Meowscarada is it does not have to be a Grass Energy that's attached to the active to attack with. All we need is just an energy, since it's 2 colorless. So we can make a Dark Energy go on the Meowscarada to get the attack off, or we can Energy Switch between the Munkidoris to spread even more damage. I mean, honestly, the capabilities this deck has with Energy Switch and Crispin are insane. So I really do like this combo. Shout out to Avery for coming up with it. I did tweak the list a little bit. I'm going a little bit heavier on the Arven Iono. I like the consistency supporters in this deck. I know one of the cards he had in it that I took out was Crisis Punch. I think Crisis Punch in this deck is actually insanely fun. It's a great option. I just wanted to make sure that I can make it to the late game and focus on the early game consistency. I also noticed that there wasn't a Rod or Night Stretcher in the list. I definitely wanted a Rod or Night Stretcher because at least when I played it, I got rid of a little bit too much energy too quickly, and I needed to rot a couple back or bring one back with Night Stretcher, so I definitely like these combos. But then for the rest of the deck, in terms of consistency, since we're on the topic, we've got Arven, Iono, Crispin to make sure we're getting the energy in play, we're getting the Pokemon in play that we need, as well as the TM evolution. So we could go into the Floragato or the Spidops off the TM Evo and just set ourselves up a little bit easy, so we don't need 4 rare candies. We can just play off the Floragato middle evolution. We're running 4 Buddy-Buddy Poffin because pretty much everything in this deck can be searched out with Buddy-Buddy Poffin, except for Munkidori and Fezandipiti, which you can draw out with Ultra Balls or by natural draw. Now, one thing I think this deck is missing that I think could help a ton is an Artisan. 1 or 2 copies of Artisan could be insanely nice. I don't know exactly what I'd want to cut for those, but I know right now there are a lot of decks that are playing Artisan. Many Dragapult decks play Artisan, Gardevoir decks definitely play them in, and many of the Grimmsnarl decks are going for a 2-2 line of Artisan and Spikemuth. So I think if you just rely on your opponent's Artisan a little bit, it's not the end of the world. Honestly, in many matchups, you could almost expect it at this point, so it kind of works out in our favor. But having a 1 or 2 of Artisan can help definitely getting the Munkidoris out, and then could take the pressure off Ultra Ball getting those, or like an Iono natural draw into your Munkidoris. You know, you got other ways to get it out. I think right now this is just a really fun combo that I was really excited to show off. When Avery shared me this list, I'm like, dude, we've got Heavy Gust for Meowscarada to take KOs where we need. We got Heavy Spread with the Munkidori as well as the Meowscarada. We got a good single press attacker for the Guardy matchup. I'm like, this deck honestly feels insanely complete. I really do like it right now. So I think in terms of rogue decks, I think this is actually a great combo. I don't know how we have not seen this before, at least to Avery and I's knowledge, we haven't seen it before, but we're definitely playing around with the list. So, you know, if you got a change for this insanely fun, you know, fan favorite Pokemon, definitely let me know. But yeah, without further ado, let's hop into today's deck. Just before we hop in, though, I got one more announcement. If you are going to TCG Player to order any decks, singles, or deck accessories, make sure you hop on over via my link in the description down below. Just clicking on the link to take you to the site you're going to anyway supports the channel in a massive way if you order stuff within 48 hours of clicking on the link. So thank you so much to everyone who's been doing that. And yeah, with that being said, let's hop into today's video and see how well Meowscarada Spidops can do. Welcome to match number 1. We're up against Charizard Pidgeot. Now that's a deck I haven't really thought of in a minute, but hey, I mean, we're a grass deck. We are built to take down what my opponent's got in store for us, and it is safe to say that I am also opening up with an atrocious hand. There's nothing I can do with this, but that's fine. I mean, I live to run these odds. That is not a top deck that's going to help too much, but I mean, you know what? I'm not going to complain here. I'm just going to get rid of the Meowscarada. We could get more energy recovery back. I think for now I'm just going to take a ton of grass energy because it helps out a little bit. I don't know what I'm checking the deck for. I guess our supporters right now. Tell me I prize 2 Arven. That's pretty cool. We love that. I prize 2 Arven, and yeah, no, actually I think that's pretty much it from the supporter line of things. I think here all I want to do is get an energy attached to Sprigatito and then pass it on over to my opponent. So now my opponent could easily go Rare Candy Charizard and blow up my active, and if they do that, that's fine. I know I'm just going to top deck Rare Candy here and then get my Meowscarada fully set up. Never mind, they're going to go into a Clef. Okay, that makes me feel way better, and I'm actually pretty jealous. I kind of wish I had a Clef here of my own to draw into a bit of a bigger hand, but it's not the end of the world. Like I said, you know, we'll get that Pokemon recovery down right now, and then we'll attach the energy to, you know what, maybe we do Tarountula, and this is how we get our Arven out of the prize. So we attach down here, we go take down for 30. I don't care about the 10 damage, it doesn't do much. My opponent's not playing a spread deck. If they want to Dusknoir and Charizard and just win the game, they'll win the game. But like I said, I'm going to get my Arven out of the prize cards. Okay, I just need to live this turn. I just need to live this turn. And I think we can make it through this match. My opponent has 7 cards in hand. The chances of them having Rare Candy Dusknoir, Rare Candy Charizard, I would say are pretty high at this point. I mean, I guess they haven't played a supporter yet, but I feel like their odds of drawing one are pretty good. I think what you always do is you promote the Charizard here, right? You promote the Charizard. If you got Rare Candy Pidgeot, I know I'm cooked. I know there's nothing I can do, and that's fine. This might just be the quickest Charizard matchup ever, despite I feel like us having what should be a positive or a solid match. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Maybe I'm just talking and not actually saying anything meaningful. I guess that's fine too. They got double Duskull, they got triple Charmander, 1 Pidgey, 7 cards left in hand. They played the Buddy-Buddy. I'm trying to know they just passed. I was gonna say I'm trying to think of the odds of them having the KO, and I was like, there's no way they don't, right? They actually don't. Okay, well that's fine. We go Arven. We go for our Rare Candy, and I think here we take. I'll take the Max Belt, but I'm not going to play it yet. I am just going to hold on to it. We don't get any value out of it, but I do get value out of using Meowscarada right now. So what I think I want to do is Bouquet Magic and put some early pressure on the Pidgey, because then I could try to KO that guy the following turn, because I can attach the Dark Energy here. I can retreat the Tarountula. They're not going to be one-shotting a Meowscarada without a Dusknoir, so I think all I really want to do is just blow up their active with Scratching Nails. Because now Pidgey has damage done to it, and I know some damage on a Charmander would be like super nice because it would set up a KO on Charizard. We're swinging for weakness, but we're not instantly KOing yet. I get it. But if they don't evolve the Pidgey this turn, I do have the Night Stretcher for the Grass Energy to go Bouquet Magic and take out the Pidgey, which definitely stops my opponent's play like perfectly. And they're going for the boss on Tarountula. I don't think Tarountula, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that Pokemon. I don't think they got it. If they're going boss on this guy, they don't have any other sort of setup. You're going Mist Energy on the Pidgey. I hate to break it to you, that is not actually going to save the Pidgey. We're not doing effects of attacks. We're doing effects of abilities. So that won't stop anything. The Buddy-Buddy Poffin is an insanely clutch card here for us to get another Sprigatito and Tarountula down. Just help thin the deck a little bit. We don't have any natural draw. I could go Night Stretcher, take the energy back, and then KO the Pidgey, and I think that's what I do every time, just to see if I could get something like the other Arven out of the prize cards. So we'll go Bouquet Magic, we'll discard the energy, we'll take out the Pidgey. I guess I could have taken out a Duskull here, but I mean, at the time they only had one Pidgeot, so it did feel like a great option. We're going to get another Energy Switch, which really doesn't save me, so I think now is just when I pass. And I wait for my opponent to go Rare Candy Charizard, take out my Tarountula, and then I'll promote Meowscarada and figure the rest out from there. I can also Ultra Ball for Fezandipiti, because that's our draw engine, you know. I feel like right now it's like, okay, we're sitting here, we got no draw engine, that's awful, what do we do? We just wait till my opponent takes a KO. There's a lot of single prize Pokemon that get KO'd in this deck pretty frequently, so, you know, Fezandipiti honestly gets used a few times, and my opponent's going to Ultra Ball away another boss and a Dusknoir. That's huge. And finally get their own Fezandipiti out. Okay, so they'll be drawn 3. There's no way they don't get Rare Candy or Arven or some evolution off this. I'm actually shocked that they've bricked this hard this far into the game. They're going to get the Max Belt down, the Counter Catcher on Meowscarada. Now, if I've ever felt a Rare Candy Charizard play, Iono. That's fine. I mean, my hand was dead, but this definitely hurts. Now, I have taken 3 prize cards, so that is 270. Yeah, they definitely got the KO if they got Rare Candy Charizard off this. We did not draw into anything super useful either. They just passed for turn. That's actually brutal. I kind of feel bad at this point, but I'm not complaining too much. I am going to attach the Dark Energy to Floragato here because I could see that being wildly useful down the line. I might as well... Actually, no. I'm going to hold the Tarountula because if I need to Ultra Ball that for Fez, I'm going to do that. Right now, I'm just going to Scratching Nails for 100, take out the Charmander, go up 4 prize cards against my opponent. That definitely hurts a ton, that they could not go for the Rare Candy Charizard, take the KO play this turn. That is going to leave a mark for sure. We got our other Arven out of the prize card, so if nothing else, I've got a good supporter that's going to get me Fezandipiti and help me figure out the rest of the game. If I need to go in with the Spidops, I go in with the Spidops. I mean, that is totally fine, because all I need to do is deal with 1 Charizard EX from this point on. They finally got the Rare Candy Pidgeot, which I'm sure will get them Rare Candy Charizard and the Chi-Yu. Actually, you know what? That's another super helpful Pokemon. I don't think it would be great to go Rare Candy Dusknoir at this point in the game, because if they give me 1 more prize card, I am just a boss's orders away from a KO on some pretty low HP Pokemon. And yeah, it doesn't feel great. I mean, my opponent is swinging for 300. They're also whiffing the KO right now, too. Maybe they... I don't know. Actually, I have no idea what my opponent's route is. Maybe they go for another energy and you try to just set up some good damage with Chi-Yu. Just offer me the 1 prize card Pokemon that I honestly really can't effectively one-shot myself. I mean, that would, I feel like, make the most sense if that's what they do. It does buy me a little bit of time to get something else rolling, and they go Briar. Oh boy. What else am I missing? They're going Briar here. Do you have a Counter Catcher? No, you Scoop. Okay, I was going to say, you played a Briar, but you don't take a KO. You swing for 300 damage, so that didn't feel awesome. We somehow made it through match number 1 unscathed. Let's hop into match number 2 and see if Meowscarada can bully our next opponent. Welcome to match number 2. My opponent did just draw past TCG, fire team. You guys should go support. And it's Cynthia's Garchomp, which I feel like we've got a phenomenal matchup into, especially when we've got Arven for, I think, another Buddy-Buddy Poffin to continue the setup, as well as TM Evo, as long as Floragato is in the deck, which it is, which feels pretty good. And we didn't prize a Meowscarada. We got one here. Our Rare Candy's in the deck. That's really the only other thing I feel like I need to check. Yeah, they are. Okay. That's fine. I mean, the rest we'll kind of figure out. I don't really have a great draw from here, so maybe I don't take Buddy-Buddy Poffin since we got a couple of Sprigatitos. Maybe I take something like an Ultra Ball, because I could get rid of a couple energy. That doesn't feel great either. You know what? Let me just take another Buddy-Buddy Poffin. And we'll just set ourselves up as good as possible this way. We're going to take a Tarountula. Honestly, I'm going to take 2 Tarountulas here. My opponent didn't do much. Cynthia's Garchomp, if I'm not mistaken, also plays a high amount of TM Evo, so I really don't mind my opponent just resetting my hand right? Like, I think that would be fine if that's what they got to do to get themselves a new playable hand. For us, all we need is some Spidops in play. 3 Spidops swinging for 180 damage against Cynthia's Garchomp is phenomenal. Again, remember, it's because of weakness. They are weak to grass Pokemon. Meowscarada can push the one-shot so long as we do get the damage counter moved and swing for the full 220. We'll be fine. And there's the Iono. Yeah, I figured that's what my opponent had in store for us. They play 4 Ionos, I feel like, most of the time, so banking on that was not that bad. Seeing this hand is that bad. This hand is atrocious, but you know what? I got an Artisan down to get myself one more Pokemon, and honestly, I don't even think I will do that, though, depending on what we top deck, because if my opponent takes a KO, I'm not even going to be able to get Fezandipiti, and we get an Iono top deck. That is so good. I think we have to use that here, right? We could attach this Counter Gain to Sprigatito right here. Or actually, you know what? No. We're just going to save that for later. I'm just going to go Iono now. I don't care that my opponent only has 3 cards in hand. I need to play the game as well. If I could get aggressive in the early game, I think that would help us even more. And I can't, actually. The best I could do is get down a Munkidori, as well as attach a... You know what? We'll attach a Dark Energy here. My opponent isn't going to be doing much spread, so Munkidori is pretty useless in this matchup for now. Once they start doing damage, Munkidori is going to be massive. For now, I don't think it's that great. I can Energy Switch onto the Munkidori later. For now, I just want to manual attach the energy to the Floragato and hold the energy in hand to use Bouquet Magic. I will go Artisan and take down a Munkidori here, though. If my opponent KOs my active, that means I can Arven for Ultra Ball, and then I can get down Fezandipiti to give me a good draw engine. I also will be behind on prize cards, so I could go Counter Gain as well. I think what's even better for us is by not doing damage, we don't build up Raging Curse on a different Spiritomb if they are playing 2, because that could be super relevant at different points in the game. I kind of like just passing there. We did not need to do the 30 damage. It does not save us. My opponent is getting a bunch of Cynthia's Power Bands down, as well as some more Gibbles, but they haven't gotten any Roselias or anything like that, so you know what? They're not going to be swinging for too much if they even do pull off a Rare Candy Garchomp play this turn. I wouldn't be shocked, though, if they just go Gabite Chain. Yep. And they're going to Gabite into another Gabite and then take some more Roselias. I lied, actually. They're just going to Arven. Or Iono. Okay. That's fine. And we get... Oh, my God. I feel like we're still stuck. We're still stuck getting nothing insane. My opponent could go Gabite for 40 damage. They actually would whiff the KO, funny enough, because we did not do takedown and do 10 damage to ourselves. They're only swinging for 40. They cannot get a Roselia down this turn. They're going for the quad Gibble. Oh my God, wait, no, this is the wrong Gibble. This is the water Garchomp Gibble. Oh my God, we're up against a double Garchomp deck. This is nuts. Oh, I'm so excited for this. This is not what I expected in this match, but I am feeling amazing about it. So I think here we want to go evolve into the Spidops. I do like the manual attach to the active and just taking a KO here. We're swinging 180. Like, I feel like that's pretty awesome. I don't mind going up at all. I've got another Spidops to go charging up next turn if I absolutely need. We've got an Ultra Ball in hand, which can draw me out a Fezandipiti if they actually KO my active. If they don't KO my active, that's fine. I mean, I will just go in with Spidops again and just swing and take a little bit more time to set up. We get an Arven out of the prize cards, which is huge. I haven't played Earthen Vessel yet, so I could get a Vessel, which could be a manual attached to Meowscarada, as well as a Bouquet Magic ability that we can rip, and my opponent goes on first stamp. So everything I was planning actually just gets thrown away instantly so that I can draw into Rare Candy Crispin. Alright, yeah, we're still fine. I mean, that's a Grass Energy attached to Meowscarada and a Dark Energy... No, a Dark Energy attached to Meowscarada, Grass Energy in hand, I think? No. They're going to go Corkscrew Drive. They're not even going to KO our active, I don't think. Right? I'm so confused on how this matchup is playing out. I'm assuming we're getting KO'd. My opponent has no Roserades in play. They're playing the Water Garchomp and the Cynthia's Garchomp combo. So they actually are not going to be able to one-shot a Spidops, which means Spidops is going to be swinging a massive 180 damage while we set up extra energy on with Crispin onto Meowscarada and potentially Munkidori, which could be even more important for us to take a KO with Meowscarada, which we actually could do this turn now that I think about it, because we can take the hit, retreat, into Meowscarada, set up Munkidori and Meowscarada. We wouldn't even Bouquet Magic. I think we would just take the KO. That feels pretty huge, actually. Wait, hold up. We're definitely taking a 2-prize turn next turn. It's going to expend a lot of resources, but I think it sets us up better since we know our opponent is not taking a KO on this Meowscarada here. And we love an Energy Switch, but more importantly, we love having damage on the Spidops from Munkidori to play with. I just need to make sure the other Dark Energy is in the deck because I didn't check, but it is, so we're fine. We'll put the Dark Energy into our hand. We'll attach the Grass Energy on over to Meowscarada. I guess I could have saved that too since we've got an Energy Switch, but I do kind of want to hold on to the E-Switch a little bit more. I like the retreat here into Meowscarada, and then what we do is we just Adrenabrain 30 damage off my benched Spidops onto Garchomp. We can now use Charging Up to get some extra energy into play. We'll put the Dark Energy here, and we'll put... Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to get the Grass Energy in play just in case I need to get a Spidops attacking the following turn. I think we just go Scratching Nails for 440, and we take 2 more prize cards. And this is the Meowscarada deck in action. It's this type of synergy. We have the Energy Switch, which is awesome. I don't even think we need it here because we're just sitting so good. And we got a 3rd Spidops out of the prize cards as well as Counter Gain. So if we do fall behind at any point, we'll be in a decent spot. What's nice, though, is we're just going to play off the board pretty cleanly. My opponent's going to do 160 with Hydrolander here. I'm going to swing for 220 damage with Meowscarada while setting up some Spidops in the back end when they KO my active. And then remember, we got Rare Candy in hand. 1 more Meowscarada, and I can deal with the next ground-type Cynthia's Garchomp pretty comfortably because this Munkidori is kind of ready to rumble. My opponent's going to Iono, put our hand back on the bottom of the deck, which is fine. We definitely had options, especially with that Energy Switch Rare Candy, but it's not the end of the world. We're going to get Energy Switch, Energy, Ultra Ball. This might be just even better. I don't think we play anything here. Right, or do we? You know what? I could Adrenabrain to the active, unless they go Sonic Dive. Do you go Sonic Dive and just take out the Munkidori? That would be nuts. No, you're going to go Hydrolander. You're going to set up the Garchomps pretty cleanly. I don't think I could protect my active from a KO at all, which is fine. Something that we get at Boss's Orders. Alright. This deck is insane. We 100% go Boss on Garchomp. We definitely... I have, a Grass Energy, which I will accelerate to Spidops now. This Spidops. I am going to Adrenabrain damage off my active, I guess. I don't think it totally matters, but I'm just going to throw it here. I could Bouquet Magic, throw 30 damage off onto Garchomp, but I don't know if that's going to help too much. I think we'd actually be better off just with a manual attached to a Sprigatito. Just because if I could get a Rare Candy Sprigatito the following turn, that's going to feel so much better, since now all we need is a manual attached to swing for full damage. Actually, no, we don't, because I've got the Energy Switch. Yeah. So I need an energy to get extra damage in play, and that Ultra Ball feels pretty good. We get Iono Ultra Ball. Iono's not going to do much because we got 1 card left. My opponent has 6. So the Iono is going to do nothing. They get an entire Cynthia's Garchomp line back into the deck, which is pretty cool. But if they leave this Garchomp into the active, we're going to be swinging with some massive damage down. If I could top deck a Rare Candy or an Arven, we should have game in hand. The chances of that happening are honestly not awful. We've got 3 Arven, 3 Rare Candy in the deck. It's not great. It's not bad. Or if I top deck... No, actually, that's really it. If I get a Meowscarada, it really doesn't do much because I need Rare Candy. I've got Ultra Ball, which could get me Meowscarada. I really, really just need the Rare Candy at this point. And they're going to go Champion's Call. They need to take out the Garchomp here, and they need to go... What is it? Draconic Buster. 4K? Yeah, Draconic Buster, 260 for KO on my active. They get rid of 2 energy, but they got the free retreat into the regular Garchomp EX on the bench, which is going to set up more energy and just kind of keep this loop going. I think for now, just because I don't have anything else guaranteed, I throw this Spidops in the active. I do have Ultra Ball for Fez too, funny enough, which actually does help a ton. And I get Meowscarada here. Now, what else is in the deck? Because, you know what? I don't know if I could get rid of this Meowscarada. I do have another. Another Munkidori is pretty cool. I definitely want Fez down here. though. So I think what I do is I have to Ultra Ball away Energy Switch Iono to take Fezandipiti, because I want to go for game here. A boss's orders or Rare Candy, I think, guarantees this game pretty nicely. And we've definitely got some options to draw those cards. We get an Arven, which is Rare Candy. This deck is nuts. This deck is absolutely insane. So we'll take that. We'll take the Max Belt just because. We will go Rare Candy into Meowscarada. We'll Adrenabrain the damage off the Spidops, which is huge that my opponent whiffed that. They had to do it too. They had to draw into a bigger hand. We'll retreat into Meowscarada. We'll throw the Max Belt on the active just because more damage is more fun. We're going to attach the energy, and then we're going to swing for 540 damage, taking the final KO. My opponent's going to concede right before it happens. That's going to be match number 2, out pretty comfortably. What are we, 2-0, I believe? Yeah, we should be 2-0. I mean, that's solid. Let's hop into match number 3. See if we can get the perfect record for the day with Meowscarada EX. Welcome to match number 3. We open up with a solid hand. I did take one mulligan, and my opponent has Applin in the active, which is either Festival Leads or Hydrapple EX. And based off the Rabsco that's in the discard pile, it's going to be Festival Leads, which is a little tricky. I mean, that's going to be huge early game KOs from my opponent for sure. But once I get evolved, I think I'll do a pretty good job turning the tide back into my favor, because Rabsco doesn't, if they do get into play, it doesn't stop the damage counter spread from our abilities. And we're not doing any damage counter spread from our attacks. So I think we actually could make it work, and that top deck might be the best top deck we need. That energy top deck means we do not need Earthen Vessel, because we could just go TM Evo so long as Floragato as is in our deck. Actually, I lied. TM Evo's pressed. Okay, well, this is great. We'll just go Counter Gain then. We'll take it a little bit slower. I think here, I mean, I like the Buddy-Buddy Poffin just to build the bench a little bit bigger in case they've got the nuts and take a perfect KO like that. We've got an Iono, and we've got, how many Rare Candies? We've got 3 Rare Candies in the deck. You know what? We've got the Spidops too. I think we just play the long con. We go another Tarountula, another Sprigatito, and I think all we need to do is just attach to the active. If my opponent takes a KO, it's not the end of the world. I could do takedown. Actually, you know what? Put some damage on them in case they don't evolve. Would that change anything? It might. The 10 damage to us, I don't think changes anything. The 30 damage to them, I think, could help us a bit, depending on if we need to go in with the future Spidops. But I think what's nice here is if they do take a KO, we could just sack a Sprigatito as well, and then still have 2 Tarantulas in play, make it a little bit easier, and they got the Festival Grounds. That means they definitely got the Diplin, right? I don't know. They go Iona. Okay, yeah, they'll get it. They're also going to need a lot of bench Pokemon to KO our Tarountula, but I figured it's not going to be too hard for them to pull that off. And we got the Rare Candy Meowscarada play off the Iono. We also have a Spidops in play, another Tarountula, so you know what, if I could just top deck another Energy, maybe a different supporter card. We actually don't have the world's worst out to take in a KO. It's Spidops, which will help a little bit. My opponent is swinging for 80 damage, assuming they actually have the Diplin needed. But no, they're going to go Tumbling Attack. Hopefully flip heads if you're rooting for them, and then they'll do 30 damage. We will still live with 10 HP, but what sucks for us right now is I got absolutely no energy left to pull this off. So I think here, what we want to do, I really don't mind a benched Munkidori, and I also don't mind just taking a KO and giving my opponent a prize card as well. We got the Rare Candy evolution into Meowscarada. I like the manual evolution into Spidops. Takedown will kill us, but it will also KO my opponent. And I think in a situation like this, when your opponent has 3 cards, we kind of just need to give both of us a prize card, and hopefully one of us can figure out what is going on, because this matchup so far is a nightmare for both of us. We're going to get a, actually no, my opponent is going to take the prize card first, and then I'll take my prize card. Hopefully it's a supporter card that can take us out of this, and it's a Floragato, which actually I really do like here. It takes off some of the pressure of needing a Rare Candy evolution into Sprigatito. I think all we want to do is promote, honestly, a Tarountula here doesn't feel that bad. Right? They're swinging for 60 damage. I guess they would have to still KO the active. Maybe we do. Sprigatito's pretty sackable. They would have to use both attacks to KO Sprigatito unless they could pull off a much fuller bench. They would need, I guess, one more Pokemon isn't insane. but it feels pretty decent. I really don't want to lose Munkidori. If my opponent actually does not have the KO here, that would be amazing. We could, I mean, retreating wouldn't be great, but we do need a little bit of time to try to draw out of this. If my opponent plays Iono or something like that, both of us could use a new hand, that would be fine. And they're going to go Arven. So if nothing else, they got Ultra Ball, or more likely they go TM Evo. Well, I guess they could do both, but TM Evo I feel like would be the best attacking play here just to get themselves set up. They're going to go bug catching set TM Evo. That makes so much sense. So now off this, if they do get the I know they have Ultra Ball. Oh, man. Okay, now bug catching set only needs to hit Thwacky, assuming they take the Dipplin off this Ultra Ball, and then they can search out anything they need, and they will be consistently running us over for the rest of the game, which means I need to set up Meowscarada instantly next turn, and I need to start getting active with my Munkidori and my Bouquet Magics. I can take prize cards off the bench pretty easily, because Applin does not have an insane amount of HP, but I am pretty far away from that setup, which does not feel too amazing. I feel like I'm a few cards short this match. It's like some matches you're like, okay, I'm just one card short. You know, I could top deck this, I could draw into that. You know, I've got a lot of options to kind of carry me through. Right now, we're short a ton of energy. We're short at least a couple evolutions, and it really doesn't feel great. If I could just get one more energy card, I could at least take a return KO with a Spidops, which doesn't feel awful. That could definitely help out a ton. My opponent actually does not get a Thwacky down at all. It seemed off the bug catching set, they just got down a Dipplin and a Grass Energy, and they got the other Dipplin off the first Ultra Ball. That makes sense, and they're going to swing for 100 here. I'm going to promote the Spidops because it is going to tank an attack here, and it's going to keep some pressure off the Meowscarada. Spidops is also the easiest Pokemon to set up via a top deck. We would just need some sort of energy card because we still do have the charging up attack. And if we could top deck Crispin or something like that, we can also pull off Munkidori and start setting up another KO on a Dipplin. We get a Grass Energy, and you know what? In a situation like this, I think that's all we absolutely need. I could go Boss on another Pokemon, but I don't think that's going to help me much at all. There's only one Pokemon with energy in play. I think in our current situation, we just bank on that kind of carrying us through. I don't want to Rod yet. I'll probably Rod next turn when my active inevitably gets KO'd. I kind of just have to hope that this prize is going to speak wonders to me and allow me to keep playing the game. Arven is exactly that prize card. We could do a ton off in Arven. Depending on what my opponent has in store for us, we could take some damage with Munkidori. I could go Arven for Earthen Vessel, maybe we'll attach a Dark Energy to Munkidori off the Vessel, and then use the Grass Energy to go Bouquet Magic, and then we could spread enough damage down on the benched Applin to take a prize card, which feels pretty great. And, you know, I could also pull off the Counter Gain, which means Meowscarada would be able to attack a little bit easier. Wait, you know what, actually? We're in kind of an amazing spot to set ourselves up really well, because my opponent is up one prize card. So Counter Gain is going to be massively effective right here off this Arven. Again, a top deck on a Crispin does great, but if not, it's not the end of the world. My opponent's just doing 80 damage to my active Pokemon. If they go another full Festival lead, it's not going to change much if we get a Dark Energy top deck. Can I do anything with that that'll change a lot? I don't think so. We could go... We'd definitely go Counter Gain here, right? And I also really don't mind a Night Stretcher to take back a... but you know what? No, I think Vessel is still our best play. I think Vessel is always the play here. We go Rod now. I like having the Tarountulas. So we'll take these guys back. We'll leave... Actually, you know what? No, we could leave 2 energy in the discard pile. That's fine. Because then our Spinopses will be taking those back. And I'm going to take another Sprigatito back, because I could see that helping us out a little bit more, too, if I could draw into that. I am going to Vessel away the Floragato. We're just going to be relying on Rare Candies at that point, and I think that's fine. I'm going to take out a Grass and a Dark Energy to put into my hand. I mean, we do have 1 Dark Energy in my hand, so maybe I just go 2 Grass, right? And then I can attach the Counter Gain to the active. We can use Bouquet Magic to put 30 damage on Applin. And then I could attach the Grass Energy to my hand, or to Meowscarada, excuse me, and then save the Dark Energy. And now we can KO Dipplin. Just do 100 damage, take the KO. What's nice is I don't ever have to use Scratching Nails for extra damage. Like, I don't ever need damage on my opponent's active Pokemon. So I could just try to overwhelm their benched Applins and take some KOs that way. A Buddy-Buddy Poffin out of the prize cards is pretty nice. My opponent promotes Shaman, which tells me that they're going to be sacking a Pokemon here. I am sadly going to need another manual attachment to Meowscarada, but what could be a huge play lined up for us, never mind, they got Lana's Aid. That's probably their top deck, or they wouldn't have promoted Shaman, because that's an Energy and a couple Dipplin. An Applin, Dipplin, Energy. That makes sense. So unless they have a switching card in hand, I know this deck plays Kieran, but they can't play Kieran if they played Lana's Aid. If we could get an Energy Switch top deck, that would be huge. And they're going to go Rescue Board. Okay, so they do have the switch out for Shaman. They still can go do the wave for 160 damage, which is not going to take the KO. And unless I top deck, again, unless I get Crispin, that is going to be the card of the match. I'm not going to be taking 2 prize cards, but I'm still going to need to draw into a lot to save me, because my board state is still very dead. When my opponent KOs my active, there's not going to be much to do. Fezandipiti is going to help with that a ton. I think here, off the Buddy-Buddy Poffin, I definitely want to take a Sprigatito, and I really don't mind taking one more Tarountula. My opponent has to KO my active at some point, and I think when they do... Actually, no, I have to attach this to the active here, so I could attack. Boss's Orders is cool. It's not going to do anything. I think all I need to do is swing at 220 on the active. My opponent, more likely than not, can pull off the KO next turn. That's fine. I just need a bank that Fezandipiti saves me the game. We're going to get another Buddy-Buddy Poffin out of the prize cards. Not a card that's going to change too much. We know they have what in hand, actually. I don't know if we know any of their cards, because last turn they went Lana's Aids for Applin, which they benched. Dipplin, which they evolved into, and the Energy, which they attached. So I don't think we know a single card in my opponent's hand. They've got 3 cards left. If any of them can help get a Dipplin and an Energy, we'll be in a tough spot. They'll be swinging for 60 damage, and they go Counter Catcher. Okay, you know, we could live with the Counter Catcher. I'm assuming they bring up, what, Sprigatito here? Yeah, that's going to be the hardest Pokemon to pivot out of. If they just pass with Sprigatito in the active, though, we're still in a decent spot. They manual attach an Energy onto the Applin, so they did have the Energy, and they just pass it there, bringing it back over to us. And we get another Sprigatito out of the top deck. I think here I really don't mind a boss on Grookey, because now they need another Energy to pivot out themselves. And I just kind of put my opponent in a spot where it's like, hey, you either can retreat and evolve and get out of the active, start attacking sooner than I can, or I can do the same. And I think if I can do the same, I'm in a great spot to win. If my opponent is stuck here just like I am, it's not the end of the world. They're going to draw pass. We're going to get a Spidops, which is a massive top deck. That's going to allow us to go charging up, get some much needed Energy out of the discard. So now my opponent's on a timer, because if they do not retreat and KO my active, I'm going to passively set up another benched Pokemon, which can also help set up other Pokemon since I play Energy Switch in this list. They're going to go Bug Catching Set, which is a huge top deck. If they get Grass Energy Dipplin, they are going to be cooking. If they get Thwacky Energy, that also works, because now they got the Energy to retreat, but they don't have a Festival Leads ability, actually. Never mind. This might not work. Thwacky's big. Thwacky's going to allow them to be able to search anything they want from their deck, so long as they have a Festival Leads Pokemon in the active spot, which they do not. They do get the Badoo, so they could retreat and go Ichipollen, but that's always a very, very scary play, because if I get a Dark Energy, we are an Adrenabrain KO away from making that Badoo go bye-bye, and then we're just one prize away from cleaning up the rest of the game. I don't know if Badoo is the play there, and we're just going to be getting Buddy-Buddy Poffins, which is kind of rough, but not the end of the world. I mean, we still got a charging up play, and now all I need my opponent to do is KO my active so that I could go Rocket Rush, KO their active, and then Meowscarada to clean up the rest of the game. I guess, you know what, if they take a KO on Sprigatito before I can set myself up perfectly, it would be a little bit rough because they could just go Boss Meowscarada for game, but they're still a draw pass, or they're just going Ichipollen, and we're going to get a Crispin and close out the game right here. We're going to go Crispin, we're going to take a Grass and a Dark Energy. We are going to put the Dark Energy into our hand. We're going to attach the Grass Energy to the active. We will use the Dark Energy to go Adrenabrain, move the damage off my Meowscarada to KO their Badoo, take a prize card there. We We've got the energy on the Sprigatito to retreat into the Meowscarada, and that's going to wrap it up for a nice match number 3. We'll see if they concede here or if they give it to me. It seems they are going to give it to me. We're just going to retreat off the Sprigatito, jump in with Meowscarada. I could have done the same thing with Spidops, but it doesn't really matter at this point. They've got 100 HP, nothing insane. We're swinging for 100 damage, nothing insane, but it's going to be the KO. My opponent hit me with the thumbs up. Shout out to my opponent. They were pretty cool. Definitely ran out the match pretty well. And it's going to be 3-0 with a solid deck. Again, shout out Avery for throwing me the list. Let me mess around with it a little bit before hopping into the video. But it's a fun one. I think the synergy between Spidops and Meowscarada is definitely pretty solid. I think the deck definitely needs some work on the consistency. I feel like it's definitely still a little bricky. I feel like a couple times, even though we came away with the perfect record, it didn't feel great. Like that last match, we were in a pretty dead spot for a while. I feel like there were a couple other points where we were just so heavily relying on the top deck being perfect. I think maybe Seeker Box could do a little bit better than the Max Belt. In this deck, it just allows for another layer of consistency. I think something like Artisan or even a Mezgoza, because sometimes you do like getting those evolution Pokemon, could be pretty cool as well as a 1 or 2 of on the stadium count. It's just like what to cut from that point. For now though, solid deck. Hope you guys enjoyed it. With that being said, hope you guys are doing awesome. Stay epic. Peace.